We at ETAC are very, very happy to see all of you on our fourth skill weight session. Uh, thank you so much for all the cooperation in last few skill weights as well. And we are quite sure of having a lot more. It is going to be 2x, 3x of 4 that we are going to have. So once again, thank you so very much. And today it's our fourth session of our Skillway 2023. And I would like to extend a warm welcome to Vikas Singh here. Mr. Vikas Singh, he's our proud growth partner from West Zone. Many of you know him. And all of us are big fan of him, looking at his expertise in the field of education. He is into this industry for last good 5 years, and very proudly we share that he's an alumni of Teach for India, wherein he has worked with a small town government school and children, those who don't have much privileges, but they still go and they teach, there. And he comes from the similar background, wherein he is now working with EDAC for last couple of years in the capacity of growth partner, where he's helping all our school teachers so that they can further help our learners in attainment of a lot of skills, not just getting information on the concepts. So Vikas, thank you so much for taking a lead today. And we all are really waiting to listen to all the content that is definitely going to help all our teachers, school leaders. Over to you. And once again, welcome on the session. Thank you. So a big round of applause for Vikas before he begins. Everyone, can we see the claps happening? Yeah, thank you. Over to you, Vikas.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi, for that warm welcome. Good evening, everyone. My name is Vikas Singh. I've been working with EDAC as a growth partner. And it's such a huge opportunity for me to, present myself and talk about cooperative learning. So without further ado, I would start the session. Let me start by sharing my screen. Okay. I hope this is visible to everyone. If yes, give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Meenakshi. Okay, right. So yes, thank you so much, everyone, and welcome to the fourth session of Skillway, wherein we are going to talk about how can we unlock the student potential using various different tools. But yes, we will get to that, like what tools are there for us. But yes, I would start my session with a simple thought that we have on our slide at the moment, which says, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. So the entire session, the crux of the session would be revolving around these simple thoughts as to we need to come together, right? As to like it is such a pleasure to see all of you like eagerly coming on a Saturday evening, right? To listen to us as to what we have to say. This gives us so much joy that we all are here to learn something, which we can multiply within our schools. This gives me such a joy. So yes, let's get together and see as to what can we do in our schools, which can help our students unlock that potential, right, that we are talking about here. But yes, before I start this session, like how I start the session, I have a small video for you all, which I want you to all to see. And like while you see this video, please watch it carefully because there'll be some questions that I'll be asking, right? So it's a very small video, a very small, interesting video. Let's see that. And let's see this what this video talks about. Okay, so here it comes. Okay, so that was a small video that I had for you. So I hope we all saw as to what this video was talking about. Now I want you to all to take like 10 seconds at least, or 10 to 15 seconds, and try to think as to what this video was trying to tell us, right? And I would welcome your responses on the chat box so that we can see if we all align with what this video is trying to teach us, right? So let's get those responses coming in. Okay, unity, teamwork, right? Individual weakness is overcome. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Unity wins, right? Teamwork is difficult to break bundle than individual. Very nice, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. Unite, we can fight, right? Very nice. Unity, teamwork. Perfect, perfect. Teamwork leads to success. Very nice, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. Individual, we cannot do anything. Very nice. Collaboration. Thank you, Chetna miss. Right, so this is what this video was trying to tell us, that we need to unite, right? We need to unite in order to overcome bigger challenges that we have around us, and that's what these animals were trying to do. But one thing that comes to my mind while I was seeing this video is that collaboration, teamwork, or unity, or whatever you call it, this thing consciously comes to animals, right? Because whenever we see a tigress or a lioness who's going into field in order to hunt, they go in groups, right? Or for example, if there is an animal who is being hunted by a bigger animal, they would be surviving in groups, right? The reason, because they understand that even if we have to survive, we have to work in team, right? But with humans, we need someone to show us, right? We need someone to show us, Acha, this is a platform wherein I can come and this is how I can get this thing done. So we as a teacher, we have to show our student like this is that platform, and this is how we can collaborate in order to uncover or unlock that potential. So we have to consciously tell our children this is how we can do it, or this is how we can get this done. So this is what we are going to talk about in our today's session, which says unlocking the potential, cooperative learning for student achievement, right? And with that, I also want to understand, like you have seen, like you yourself said, right? Unity, teamwork. I would like to understand some examples in your classes where you have seen teamwork. So I would love your responses, like where have you seen this thing happening in your schools? Board games, very nice. Off period and activities, very nice, ma'am. Assembly, very nice, right? Okay, group discussion, quiz program, right? Role play, games, skills activity, right? Sports, very nice, ma'am. Project work like model, circle time, very nice. Planning an event, annual function, right? Dance practice, sports activities, competition between boys and girls, right? Exactly, that is what we are trying to get to, right? When students work together, no matter in which way, they will do wonders, right? We have seen this in our school. We have seen the student do these things when they come together, either they are in a debate or they're in a sports, right? They are doing that thing with their friends, with their team, and this is how we see their potential coming out, right? So yes, thank you so much for all that responses. Now that we have seen this, I want to show you like what does this collaboration really means, right? What does this term actually mean? The cooperative learning that we are trying to talk about, what does it actually means? So it's nothing but an approach where teacher or facilitator makes certain arrangement in a classroom so that students can work together to complete a common goal, right? You must have seen in the class as well, like just you have explained something and now you are giving them some kind of question that they have to solve. Or for example, let's say a very simple example, let's say there is a cricket match going on. The common goal that the team has is to win, right? And then they will make certain arrangement wherein they have to score runs and they have to just win that game, right? So it's nothing but similar thing which can happen in a class when the teacher can make certain arrangement wherein the students can work together to make sure that that particular thing can be achieved, but that has to be achieved by togetherness, right? And this approach also helps our student to think, innovate and create, which also tests their potential, right? So that they can stretch their boundaries and they can do some more and they can find a lot of different ways in how that can be done or how the other things can be uncovered, right? So this basically in a crux is what collaboration means, right? Now that you have understood what definition we at EDAC has for collaboration, I also want to get some responses from you as to what do you think collaboration can mean for you. In just one line, I want you to respond like, what do you think collaboration can look like? Teamwork, okay, as simple as that. Support and sharing. Integration, right? Working together for better results. Okay, sharing ideas. Teamwork, right? Keep them coming, teachers, keep them coming. You're very correct, and this gives me motivation that at least I'm on the right track. That I'm at least not talking something in air, right? I'm talking sense here, right? Because I can see that you're also aligned with our thoughts as well, right? Thank you so much for that. So keep them coming. Working together leads to innovation and creative results. Yes. Improved communication skills, right? Very nice, thank you so much. Right, better understanding. Okay, sharing knowledge. Life skills improvement, right? So yes, these things definitely help our students, unlock variety of skills or variety of things that they would need in not just in classroom but also outside classroom. So whenever we are doing things like collaboration, it is helping them to become somebody who is just not a student, also someone who can use that knowledge and create something more, right? So yes, learning with enjoyment, thank you so much, that helps. That happens when we do when we do collaboration in our classes, right? Thank you so much. So with that, I also want to understand, or I also want to show that why are we talking about this collaborative learning, right? Why have we gathered here with this topic called cooperative learning? What are the benefits of this, right? So the main benefits that we have been seeing in our student is nothing but that improved understanding. And why do I say improved understanding is because in groups, there are different levels of understanding, right? There are different levels of students with different level of understanding. So not every student is thinking in similar ways. They're all thinking differently. So we can use that different level of understanding to make sure that everyone can understand things in a different way, but they have to reach a common goal. So that ways understanding can be improved because these students are now brainstorming, right? Because as you said, integration, right? Sharing ideas, because now in this group एक बच्चे ने एक टॉपिक को अलग तरीके से समझा है and that student can help their peers to understand it differently or in a simpler way. So that will make sure that their understanding will be more refined. And while they're doing that understanding, like when they're explaining things to their peers or their friends, they're also communicating, right? Because generally what happens in a class is, for example, you have given them a question to solve. However, many students might not even know कि question बोलना क्या चाहता है. But when they are sitting with their friends, they might ask, okay, Rohan, मैम ने क्या solve करने के लिए बोला था? Then Rohan will explain them कि अच्छा ये वाला question ma'am is trying us to solve. So communication skill is also involved there. They are talking to each other. Okay, we think this is how it can be done. I think this is the other way that it can be done. So they are communicating with each other, and that is how they're also trying to solve that particular question. While communicating, they're also solving that particular problem which they have at hand. right? Because they are now solving a problem in a collaborative setup. So they are also working on their problem solving skills. Now, when we talk about real world collaboration, trust me on this, the session that we are doing right now, it's just not my thing that I'm doing, right? We have entire team who's behind this. So we have been working on this collaboratively. Okay, you do this, I do that, and then we can present it that way. So this not just goes in a classroom, right? For example, if your learner or if your student has learned some skill in different scenarios, they will be using that particular skills and using it outside classroom as well. Like nowadays, collaboration is not just a term, right? It is now a very much needed skill that every individual need to have, right? Because I come from different industries, and I have seen that people cannot succeed if they cannot have collaboration as a skill in them. So we are in a profession wherein we are trying to build those humans who have no understanding of what collaboration is, but we understand that collaboration has a long way to go. Its implication would be impacting them at a very bigger stages. So why not we can do that in our classroom as well, and make sure that collaboration as a skill would be built onto them, right? So collaboration is not just a term anymore. It is a skill which needs to be there in every individual. And it's not just we are saying NEP, which is again a term which we are all aware of, new education policy. It has also said that a collaboration can help the students to improve their education in the classes. It will make sure that the learning becomes more interactive, because they are discussing in the class a topic, and from that they can have different ideas which can be explained to them in different ways. Now, I want you to tell me different reasons why do you think collaboration can be beneficial for a student? Why do you think it is more important? Like I have given you 4 points which we think can be helpful for the student, but can you like in the chat box write what do you think could be more reasons? Why do you think collaboration could be an interesting thing or an important thing in a class? So again, I'll be waiting for your responses. Okay, potential leadership, right? Thank you so much, ma'am. Think differently. Learning different skills from each other. Very nice, ma'am. Thank you so much. Inclusion, diversity. Very nice, ma'am. Right? Involvement, right? Participation of all students. Very nice. Thank you so much. Creative thinking. Because many a times, not all our students are actively engaged in the class. Only the students who are sitting in front of us, they are giving the answers, right? But what about those students who are sitting at back and they are not really paying attention in the class? How can we make sure that even they are a part of my class? So when we are doing collaboration, we can make sure that these things also happen, right? Discussion making, very important, because when a student is not discussing in the class, they are not learning much more things, right? They are just limited to the content which we are teaching them. Like I have one idea which I'm just passing on to them, but what about their ideas which they might have, which would be different, right? They will learn more, right? Thank you so much, Swati ma'am. Right, thank you so much. So yes, you are bang on correct. These are also few reasons why cooperative learning, you say it, or you say collaborative learning is an important factor that needs to be there in every classroom. And it can be inculcated in various ways depending on what is the content, what is the topic that you are teaching, and how we can do it, right? But now that you have understood what is collaboration, why collaboration is necessary, let's talk about some approaches that we have identified which we can inculcate in a class. But again, as I always do, before I go ahead, I want to understand what are few approaches that you have seen in your class, which is helping you to take a collaborative class. So again, I'll wait for a few more responses. Some things that you might have done in your class, maybe in different ways, which is helping you to have mentors-mentee relationship. Very nice, ma'am. Thank you so much. Lots of small group work with a mix of student. Very nice project. Group activity, yes. Buddy, yes. Very nice. Thank you so much, ma'am. Right. Peer teaching, Chetna ma'am. Thank you so much. Bang on. I think you teachers are already hitting bullseye by every slide that I'm going on to, right? So I think Meenakshi, it's just a revision of my own concept that I already have. Teachers have such a knowledge. I think it's just a refresher for them that we are doing at the moment. Thank you so much, teachers. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Thank you so much. Right? Student express their ideas more frankly. Yes, that is one of the things which happens. Yes. Using puppets. Okay. That's a new, but yes, thank you so much. Right. So yes, again, teachers, you are all correct. It's just we have few more approaches that we would like to share with you, which we are calling as, give me a minute, group discussions, peer teaching, and group projects, right? So these are three major approaches that we have seen, which are happening in the classrooms. And we will be discussing on them individually and in detail as to what this looks like, where it can be used, and how it can be used, right? So let's see that. Let's talk about group discussions first, right? So group discussion is nothing but a kind of approach wherein the students are divided in groups and then they're encouraged by their facilitator to discuss and solve the question together, right? So this is a general meaning of a group discussion. Let me give you some examples of it. Like I'll give you two examples. The first can be like, imagine the students have pre-knowledge about something, right? They have a little knowledge of a topic. The teachers divide the class in groups, they send them in the group, and then they say, okay, you have this knowledge, do a brainstorm on that, think more, try to generate more ideas related to that topic, right? You do that particular discussion, for example, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, you let them come back, right? Once they come back, like you say, group one, what did you discuss? They're like, ma'am, ABCD. Group two, what did you discuss? Ma'am, XYZ. And then what you are doing is you are just filling the gaps. So 70 to 80% of your job was done. All you have to do is you just have to fill in the gaps. That is what the group discussion is, because the students have already discussed. Because trust me on this, teacher, I have seen this in my classes, I have seen this in your classes. Our students are way smarter than us, right? They already have a lot of knowledge which they can use if given a right platform. If they are encouraged to initiate that discussion within their groups, trust me, they will do magic, they create wonders, right? So 70 to 80% of your job will be done. All you have to do is just create that bridge between that thought process. Okay, bache, you were correct, but can you think from this perspective as well? So they're like, huh, ma'am, I can make that connection, right? So that is one example of group discussion wherein the students have limited knowledge of something, right? The second way of doing a group discussion is, imagine you are a maths teacher and you are explaining, like today's objective of your class is explaining the multiplication. So you take your time, you go to the board, you explain them the process of multiplication, how multiplication happens. You use chalk and board and everything, you explain the multiplication. The students now know what is multiplication, how multiplication has to be done. Now again, you divide them in groups with a different level of understanding. You divide them in the groups, you give them 4 questions, which is like on a degree of higher, from a degree easy to tough questions, you give them in their groups. Now they're again discussing within their groups. Someone who has understood can help the someone who's struggling to understand, or someone who's in mid can get the help of the other peers in that group, and again they are solving that question. Now once they come from the group, what you are going to do is, okay, so what answer did we get? This is the answer that we were looking for, we got that one, right? So again, you did not explain each and every questions to everyone, you just gave them a platform so that they can discuss. Okay, this is how I have to do the question because ma'am ne to aise hi samjhaya tha na. So that is how, because they know the approach, they know the process of that particular multiplication. Now they can do it. Now it can be, replicated in various topics, various concepts, as in how you have to do it. But these are just two examples which are coming at the top of my head, so I shared with you. But yes, you can see wherever it can be used, and this is how you can take it in your classes. But yes, one more thing that I always want to talk about group discussion is, what is the use of group discussion? Like, what skills does it help them to, get from this particular, these kind of activities? The first one is teamwork, right? Because now when they are in the group discussion, they have this team spirit कि मेरा team जीतना चाहिए. Because now again, I'll come to that later on as to why I'm talking about teamwork and how does that come in. But teamwork spirit they will have कि we as a team have a challenge and we have to get this done. So we will use our knowledge which we have just learned from teacher about multiplication, and we will do our best in order to solve that. Teamwork comes in. Communication, the one who has understood will explain, the one who has not understood will try to get it from different people, because our students talk to each other more than they can talk with you. They share a lot with their peers, so we can use that particular thing so that they can communicate within their groups. Problem solving, there was a problem, they're all giving different ideas to solve that problem. Time management, because they are all have a limited time. I'll tell you this because we all have classroom timing like 40 minutes, 35 minutes, or 30 minutes, right? We don't have whole day. We cannot give them entire 40 minutes. We have to give them a chunk of it, so they also know ki yes, there this activity is time bound. Because trust me on that, like when they will grow and become adults, they will be working on projects which will have a deadline, right? So how are we preparing them for that as well? So when you are giving them any kind of discussion, any kind of project which is also time based, they also know कि अच्छा हाँ मैम ने 5 मिनट ही बोला इस चीज के लिए. So we have to make sure that how can we complete it within that particular span of time. And obviously subject knowledge, because they are discussing it together, they are using the knowledge that they have just got from it, and that is how they are going to build on that. So this is what we talk about group discussion. Now I want to get some examples from you. Where have you seen group discussions happening in your in your classes? So again, chat box is your friend. Please use him. Any in any ways, like I gave you two examples. Think of your classes wherein you have seen this thing happening. Okay, thank you so much, Jyoti ma'am, for starting us off. Presentation, role play, do and document part of EDEC. Very nice. Thank you so much, Shraddha ma'am. We have all been using the lesson plan that we have very nicely. Thank you so much, ma'am. Grammar, okay. Anywhere else? Group activity, yes. Solving worksheet. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, right. Activity based. Mixed groups in maths class working very well, right? I think by every slide, this session is becoming very easy for me because I'm getting a lot of responses from you people, right? So thank you so much for making my life easier. Organizing events, right? Thank you so much. Quiz competition, right? Okay. So yes, these are few of the approaches that, or few of the things that we have seen in our classes wherein these things happen. EDAC activities, okay. Building own answers in groups. Thank you so much, ma'am. That's a very bang on. Right? Thank you so much. Board games. Okay. I teach, playway method, objective type question papers, comic strip, right? Application based. Okay. Drama based, finding solutions, comic strip role play. Very nice. Thank you so much. Right? Improving speaking skill. Yes. Very nice. Extra knowledge, right? Right. Thank you so much, teachers. Right. So that's exactly how we can see group discussions happening in our classes. And now don't just keep yourself limited to just these points. Like as I always say, sky is our canvas, right? So let's paint it over there. Let's think like we have no boundaries here. Think of like just take group discussion as an approach and replicate in any model where you think this can fit, right? And then obviously you can see wonders happening in your classes. And trust me on this, your job will be much easier, right? I always say cooperative learning is one of the tools which can make a teacher's job much easier because it has done for me. And I want this to be replicated in every school because I love working with teachers and I love making their job much easier, right? So that is the reason I chose Meenakshi. I told Meenakshi that I will take this cooperative learning because this gives me such immense joy to see this thing working in the classes, right? Thank you so much, teachers. Now I'll share another approach that we generally use in cooperative learning, which we call as peer teaching, right? Because, and thank you so much because someone has already told peer teaching, right? So thank you so much. I'm not sure what your name was, but yes, peer teaching, I think you already know, right? But yes, I'll talk about peer teaching something. So it's nothing, again, it is nothing but an instructional approach where peers teach, learn, and understand a particular topic or concept. As simple as that, right? If a student is trying to teach their friends something, they are learning and they are instructing both the things at a time. That is nothing but a peer teaching, right? Trust me on this. Like initially when you will start peer teaching in your classes, the picture may look like this, right? Like a student explaining and a teacher sitting or standing beside them. But once like the more you go deeper into it, you can shift yourself away from that particular picture because you can see those students taking over the stage, right? Because again, the next thing that we always see in peer teaching is that it reduces the reliance on a teacher, right? We do not have to be a center of our classroom. We have to give that responsibility to our students so that they can understand and then they can explain as well. If we are doing that, we are helping our students get that confidence in them because they have learned something. And if they can explain it to someone else, imagine the kind of confidence that they will have, right? With that, they are also communicating their ideas. Not every time they are getting this chance, but now they are communicating their ideas as well. So trust me, this works in two folds: confidence and communication, both the things we get just from peer teaching, right? And also it is very interesting, it is very important to understand, like, when I was in sixth standard, or maybe let's talk about you when you were in sixth standard, and the first time when you have understood this concept called water cycle, how much sure were you, right? But now let's see, after 10 years you're so sure about it that we are teaching to people, right? How do you think this has happened? Because we are doing nothing but peer teaching. We are teaching the same concept over and again, and we are so good at it, right? Think of this in your class. For example, if a student has understood multiplication, how about if that particular student has explained that topic 10 times to their friends? Do you think that particular concept will be so refined that you don't even have to teach them again? They will do your job for you. So that is why I always say peer teaching will do so much wonders in your class you cannot even imagine. But trust me, just give them that particular platform wherein they can do that, and they will make your job much easier. It can happen in variety of ways. We'll talk about how can we do it. But before I get into that, I also want to talk about the key skill development that your learning does in a classroom, right? The first thing it does is empathy, which is very close to my heart because empathy is nothing but compassion, right? And like I always say, like we as adults do not have that much empathy than our students has, right? Like when I was discussing this thing with Meenakshi the other day, she told me this very beautiful thing that a 6-year-old kid will not judge you, but we as 35-year-old would judge a 6-year-old kid as well, right? This is as true as this is very true, right? And this struck me, right? And I was like, that is such a good thing. And actually, right, they do not judge us. So trust me, when they are in a group and they are teaching their peers, they will not judge. They are like, okay, ठीक है रेशमा, तुम्हें समझ में नहीं आया, it's fine, I will explain it to you again. They will not label Reshma as ki Reshma is dumb, right? But we as adults tend to do that, right? Ki maybe if we have explained someone something thrice, we will think ki इसको समझ क्यों नहीं आ रहा, maybe they have a low IQ, maybe they have some problem, maybe I have to talk to their parents and explain them, this school is not maybe for you. but the student will not do that with their friends. They will maybe think maybe they have not understood because I was not able to explain it clearly. They will go extra mile in order to explain them. So that is wherein, the empathy gets built into them. They will not judge, but they will help them learn even better. And one more benefit of it, empathy can become the culture of your class, right? Like they have to empathize with their peers. Like even if you are not able to do something, it's fine. We all make mistakes, right? Can we do it this way, and can we solve it? So empathy is one thing that, peer learning always does it within a group or in a class. Constructive criticism and feedback, because they will not judge each other, as I said. They will give them feedback like, okay, you're not that wrong, but you are wrong here. Can you think like that? Because ma'am ne वैसा समझाया था ना. And trust me, I have seen this thing in my class, because I had divided my class in a group, and they were saying, "Sir, ये बोल रहे थे. Can you think like that?" And I was like, "Obviously, right?" So he didn't judge कि इसको नहीं समझ में आ रहा. He just said, "Sir ने ऐसा बोला था. Can you think like that?" So what they are doing is they are giving them constructive feedback. Okay, you are not correct here, but can you think like that? If you think like that, maybe you will also get that answer. They will plan their lessons, right? Because if a student like Ravi has to give a peer teaching the other day, Ravi will plan the entire day ki acha mujhe kal kya kya bolna hai, what points do I have to keep in mind, how do I explain it, how do I make it simpler for my friends so that they can understand it better. They will plan again, which is a very important skill nowadays. A lot of us, we are not good with planning. In fact, I'm not talking about the other one, but me as a person, I'm not very good with planning. So I think peer teaching, if I would have exposed to it during my classrooms, I would have much better at my planning. So yes, this is nothing but a skill which can be worked within that thing, and this will be magnified in their adult days. Listening, they will be listening to each other. Maybe they're trying to understand, okay, what have you understood? Or maybe the other one is trying to understand what he's saying. Listening skill is being built there. Conflicts can happen. They may say ki, maybe I'm not understanding, what is wrong with you. They will understand, right? Ki no matter what, we have a common goal, we have to reach there. How we will reach there? We have to first not get conflicted, right? We do not have to get that negative thoughts in our mind ki nahi ho sakta is out of the box. We have to make it happen, right? So how can we keep that aside and still do that thing? So conflict resolution, it won't come in a day, trust me. It will come gradually, but this happens, right? But yes, I'm saying because we have seen this thing as well. The last, which is very important, leadership quality. They will get leadership quality built in them from grade one itself. Like if you start doing it from grade one, the grade one student can also act like a leader, because they have a people, right? They have a team whom they have to explain things. So they will be also thinking like that. They will be explaining them like a leader कि नहीं नहीं मुझे समझाना है, because these people are my responsibility. So that thing also gets built into them. Now again, as I always say, I would also like to get some responses from you. Like what all different things do you think peer teaching can help them with? So again, chat box is open for you. I'm waiting for your answers. You will not give any answer. Instead, they will help students learn how to find answers on the. Very nice, ma'am. Thank you so much. Right. Freedom within peers. Very nice. Thank you so much, ma'am. Different approach. Good leadership. Confidence. Yes. Creativity. Right. Teamwork again. Yes. If they did mistake, they can learn. Exactly. Right. Because many a times, our students are scared of us. कि मैम से पूछेंगे या सर से पूछेंगे तो मे बी हमें डांट ना दे. But again, they will not be scared of asking their friend, because कुछ भी है दोस्त ही है ना. I will give him something in the games period, but at least he will explain, because I have got that platform wherein they are doing it. Giving feedback, right? Learning by doing, comfortable zone within peers, right? Thank you so much, ma'am. Create something new. Will get confident for self-study, right? Different perspective. Ideologies are different, right? Learn at their own pace. Very nice, ma'am. Thank you so much. Increase self-confidence, which is like a very gray area in our education system. A lot of our students do not have that confidence. And the reason they do not have it is because they are not getting that kind of a platform wherein they can work on that. Overcome stage fear, right? 360-degree knowledge of topic, right? Keep them coming, teachers, keep them coming, right? Thank you so much. You're making my job so easy for me. I thank you so much. Improved friendship, right? Thank you so much, right? Motivation to students. They're not hesitant to speak, right? Improved analysis, right? Keep them in comfortable zone, right? Sharing everything, create many ideas. It can be confidential as well. Yes, very nice. अगर कोई बच्चा किसी के साथ, if they are not very comfortable, then it could be confidential as well. कि तू मुझे बाद में समझा देना, मैं चार लोगों के बीच में comfortable नहीं हूँ. So that can also happen, and this has happened as well, right? Management of time, no fear and share within peers, right? Thank you so much. Right, thank you so much, teachers. Friendly cooperative environment, and this is what we are aiming at, right? From cooperative learning, this is what I'm aiming at: friendly cooperative environment wherein they are friendly, cooperating, and then learning. Right, thank you so much. So yes, obviously these are a few more things that we are helping them build using the peer teaching. Now I would like to talk about the another approach that we have, which also would help them do the cooperative learning, which we call as group project or activities. Now, group projects or activities, when we talk about it, is nothing but specific assignments for the group, and this is application-based learning. I'll give you an example of it, which comes to my mind using that do and document. What happens in do and document is nothing but you have explained a concept to your learners, right? They have understood a concept. They have understood the what part of it. Now, the most important is how. Okay, I know what is evaporation. Now, what do I do with evaporation? How does this happen? If I have to show it, how can I do it? Again, you make groups, you divide them in groups, then they are doing this critical thinking, right? They are brainstorming. You know, teacher ने वो समझाया था वैसा, can we use that concept and do it? Some students can say, नहीं ऐसे नहीं, this can be the other way of doing it. So they are also thinking from different perspective and trying to create how part of it. They are using their creative minds. Can we not do this? Can we do it this way? Again, creativity. And the last part of it is presentation. When they are coming to the entire class, in front of entire class, they are presenting it, right? So it is an application based learning which is helping them to connect a concept from the book to a real world example, right? Because this is very important. I always say this because nowadays the world has evolved so much that what part of anything is not relevant nowadays, right? Because you must have like, I'm not sure if you have heard of this new tool called Chat GPT. This Chat GPT can give you answer of any what, right? But now the thing is, the companies need people who can tell them how can you do it, right? And how can be done, or how can be explained by them when they have done things like activities in their classes where they have been doing critical thinking about a topic as to how can it be used in different scenarios. So we have to make that particular platform in our classes wherein they do not have to rely on their just what kind of knowledge, on just the knowledge of what. They have to know how as well, and this is very important. And also groups can be rewarded. Now it is very specifically written rewarded, not awarded, because we are not giving them any kind of material things. For example, if a group has won, right, they have presented their particular thing very phenomenal, they have got the first rank, they can decide next time who will be the first one who will be presenting. So at least they have that choice, right? कि हाँ हमारे पास एक ये चीज है which we can use next time. So it's more like a coupon कि हाँ मैं next time use करूंगा तुम्हारे against, because you are never coming ahead. Like, because when the teacher was saying कि who will come first, they were the people who were saying कि नहीं मैम हम last में जाएंगे. Now these people can tell no, next time these people will go first, because they have this kind of freedom with them. So they have been rewarded that way. There are different ways to reward as well, which we will talk about a little later as well. But yes, group projects or activities is another approach which can foster cooperative learning within a classroom. But yes, once again, I would again would want some responses from you. Have you seen what kind of group projects or group activities have you seen within your classes? So I would like to know that as well. So again, chat box. Model making, right? Very nice. Moral stories, board game, field projects, storytelling competition, right? Cutting paste real life pictures for new word vocabulary. Yes. Application based questions, right? So yes, these are a few of the ways which we are seeing in our classes, which is helping us do group based project or group activities within our classes, experiential learning, right? So yes, this is how we can get them do some project which will also have the real world connect as well, so that they are not just limited to the what part of it, the knowledge part of it, but they are also learning the skill. Using this knowledge, what skill am I learning? Because in this world, knowledge is not that much of importance as of now. The more important part is skill, because we need skilled people in our world right now rather than knowledge, because knowledge was something which was very important when we didn't had something like Wikipedia. So that is when we had to remember a lot of things. Now we have internet. Anything that you want, you can just type in and you can get it. But now the thing is, can you think more on that? Do you have a skill which you can use to monetize my business, right? So if we are doing these small things within our classes, we can work on these things too, right? So yes, thank you so much for all the responses. Through group activities, they are learning more. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Right now, I want to go on a different approach, wherein I want to talk about. Okay, you told us what is cooperative learning. You showed us why it is important, and fair enough. You also gave us some approach that we can use in our classes. But can you also tell us what specific things we need to do within the groups to make sure that these things happen effectively, right? So yes, the good news is yes, we do have something like that as well. We have some structures that we can use within the groups to make sure that everything happens very effectively within that, right? The first thing that comes to my mind is group formation. And when we talk about group formation, it can be in two ways. It could be either heterogeneous or it could be homogeneous. When we talk about heterogeneous, it would be more of mixed thought process or diverse skill set. So when you are doing an activity which would require students of different thought process or different skill set within that group, you can make a heterogeneous group. Or when you have an activity which would require you to have similar skill set people or like mindset people, you can make a homogeneous group. So it depends. See, we have two ways. Now it depends on the concept or the topic that we have at hand, what kind of thing we want to deliver. So what thing I have to select. The second one, which is very important, norms, which will take your classes or take your collaboration on newer heights. Now it gets me to the last session, which was taken by Miss Monica. If you all remember, she was talking about a lot of classroom management techniques, right? If anyone remembers, can you come on chat box and share with us some classroom management technique that we had seen the other day? Zero noise technique using non-verbal communication. Thank you so much, ma'am. Facial expressions, right? Class interaction. Thank you so much. Meenakshi, I think this gives us so much joy that teachers can still remember what they had seen, right? So thank you so much, teachers, right? Word wall making, use of cards, chit chat time, right? Intonation, rewards, communication skills, right? Attention grabber, keep the children engaged, warm up, gestures, right? So yes, that is what it is, right? Like you have to use different kind of classroom management techniques and make your specific rules for your class, because every class is different, because students are different, right? No students are same in like fifth A and fifth B cannot have same type of student. They will have different kind of ideology. They have different type of skill set. They have different way of perceiving the world. So you have to think, this class can have different rules, this class can have different rules, and you have to think which technique can go, in which class, which can help me improve my class better. So again, you can go to Miss Monica's session again, think of the classroom management technique that you can have, and that is how you can, work on that. But yes, one thing which comes to my mind right now is values. When we talk about, as you've seen, while we are doing peer teaching, students are building empathy in them. That empathy can become the value of your class, right? And similarly, a lot of different things which you have already done, that you can just pick it up and make the rules of your class. So now this is how we will be in our class, this is how we will do it. So these kind of norms can be used by you and in your different classes for different topics. Now, roles and responsibilities, which is very important, because roles in groups will make sure that everyone was engaged equally. Because if you will let them sit idle, they're like कि मैम आपने कुछ बोला ही नहीं था करने के लिए, इसलिए मैं कुछ कर नहीं रहा था, right? Do not give them that chance. Give them some kind of thing that they have to work on. जैसे कि for example, what we generally tend to say is, in a group there can be one note taker who is consciously taking notes. The other one can be a speaker who is sharing the ideas. Like after they have discussed that, he's the one who's sharing the ideas. And then there can be a resource person who is collecting all the research that is given by the teachers to the students, and that is their job. And then we have a leader who is taking care that everyone was engaged equally or not. If not, then that person can actually give you feedback. Ma'am, हमारे team में people were not paying attention, they were not understanding that. So these are the people who can help you do that. But yes, give them roles and explain them their responsibility as well, because that is when they will understand what they have to do in their individual groups. Now, timed activities, which is very important, because as I said, we don't have whole day for them. We have limited amount of time, so every activity has to be backed by certain amount of time. And when you are giving them time, like for example, you have given an activity and the time was 5 minutes, so you can just go in the classes and whisper 3 minutes remaining, right? And when you are coming back, like 5 seconds are left, then you can do interactive counting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pen down and fold your hands. Once they have done it, you have made sure that they have completed the task and they are again ready to listen to you, right? So again, you have to make sure it is time based and it has to be bounded by a certain amount of time, so that they are working within that particular time zone. And assessment and feedback, which is very important, like you have to make sure that if a group was not able to do that, are we giving them right constructive feedback? Okay, bache, if you are not right here, can we think like that and work on that? You are not wrong, it's just that you are not thinking this way in that particular direction. So just help them with that and make them that they and tell them that you will improve next time. Assessment, which is very important, because this will take them a long way, because you have to give them certain kind of rewards. Like if group one has done very nicely, they would be expecting some things from you, and you can give them EDAC badges to appreciate. Okay, you have done well, your group is star performer. And these things like roles and responsibilities and the badges can be rotated, and it can be rotated in different ways. Like it can be like weekly, it can be fortnightly, it can be monthly, or however you want to do it. That is again your call, because it's your class. But yes, make sure that it is rotated so that everyone is getting different chances to work on that particular skill. Now again, as I say, any ideas that you have, like what kind of different structure can we use in our classes to make sure that collaborative learning happens very effectively? Again, chat box, please. Chat works, okay. Consequences, very nice one, thank you so much. Remarks, motivation, model, proper guidance, yes. Heuristic method, giving stars to motivate, yes, we can do that. Appreciation, roles and responsibilities, right? Star chart, right? Yes, like they should know where am I, right? They should be having, like, you have to keep a count. Okay, group one in the first week got 2 stars. Now group 3 is leading by 1 star. So group 3 and 4 knows ki, acha, we also have to get 1 more star in order to win, right? So we can keep that count as well. Houses competition, right? Very nice. Make leaders. Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Again, thank you so much. You are making my job so easy, creating curiosity, right? Right. So these are a few of the structures that we have identified. We can brainstorm more in order to understand what different structures can be used. Again, these many of the things are like concept based. You have to decide what is the topic, what is the concept, and what kind of structure will go in there, because not all the structure can be used for all the classes, for all the topic, for all the objective. You have to decide, okay, this is the objective, this can be the thing which can be used in the classes. So again, the choice should be yours. You have to, be flexible in this kind of things, like, okay, this cannot work but this can work here. So again, keep on changing and keep on seeing which works well, because again, we are in an industry wherein we just have to keep on trying. Some things can work, some things cannot work, but the most important thing is we should not back out. We should be coming back to the things again, right? So with that, I will go to the very important thing, like if we want to make sure that cooperative learning happens in our classes, what is something that we need to work on, right? So what we should be thinking more on is communication skill, right? Which is very important. Like for example, we have divided our students in group, or the peer teaching we have told them to do, but the instructions for it was not clear. They didn't know what am I supposed to do with this group. So your instruction, you have to communicate that very effectively. Okay, teacher ne itna bola, this is what we are supposed to do, 5 minutes we have got this, and this is how we'll do it. So you have to make sure that communication is bang on. It has to go very correctly, and that is how we can start with it. Facilitation skill, whatever you do, it has to be facilitated in a way that the class is very effectively done or efficiently done. Conflict resolution, trust me on this, this happens with every one teachers. Trust me on this, right? Because maybe when you are doing cooperative learning, because a lot of teachers always tells us ki sir ye nahi ho sakta, this is so tough, right? And this is a truth, teachers, trust me on that, this is a truth. I have seen this in my class, and you would also see, like if you haven't been doing cooperative learning, if you're trying it for the first time, the first day of your class would be chaos, right? I'm not lying, I'm telling you the truth. This will happen, this is bound to happen. The reason being because kids do not know about this process. They are introduced to this kind of thing for the first time. Like every time, what the teacher's instruction is, do not talk with your friend, just do what you are supposed to do, right? But imagine a day when you're telling them ki, now you can talk with your friend, now you can discuss with your friend. So they might will have a lot of different ideas they want to share, but then from that day you have to refine what thing has to happen in that particular group, how it has to happen in the group. So yes, conflict resolution will be there, but then we have to think, like conflicts will be there, but we have to know how or what we need to do in order to make sure that these things can be averted. Questioning techniques, your questioning has to be very much perfect, because this is what we say, like inquiry based learning should be there. You have to ask different set of questions so that you will get that goal that you are supposed to achieve. And the last, time management, like if you have given them time, how we are making sure that this is achieved within that stipulated time. So if it is 5 minutes, please make sure that it is 5 minutes. We are not going beyond it. So all these are skills which can help you in order to do the perfect cooperative learning within your classes. Now, drum rolls, please. Drum rolls, because now we are coming to that slide which we all have been waiting for. What is that magic wand, right? What is that magic? What is that magic spell? What is that abracadabra which will help us do this cooperative learning? And trust me, teachers, you all have these things in your library. It is in your bag, maybe. It is maybe in your class in a cupboard. It is maybe in your phone. And it is nothing but your lesson plan, right? How you have to do this cooperative learning, how you have to do these things, these approach, how you have to follow, it is all there with you, right? It is all there with you. Like for example, this slide which I'm seeing at the moment, which you all are seeing, it's a simple lesson plan which talks about peer teaching. So I'm not sure if you can see it very clearly, but what it says is, teachers will explain something, they will explain a concept to them. After that, they will ask the students to teach themselves. This is what the lesson plan is telling them to do. So this is the peer teaching, nothing but a very simple example of peer teaching. When you see the next one, it is a group discussion, which is nothing but a comic strip that you all have been saying, because you have been following the lesson plan very nicely. So yes, this is nothing but a lesson plan of a group discussion wherein they have to discuss ki, okay, FE deck was saying that, drill deck was saying that, but what collectively they were saying, or hypomania kya tha, which we are going to solve. So again, they are discussing and then they are solving that